Hi guys, bit different today, isn't it? You get to see my ugly face. Well, first of all, for all of you who have been wondering why I haven't been uploading any videos lately, well, it's because I've been away from home. I've been away to university. I'm doing a master's, so I don't really have time to upload videos anymore. But it's Christmas now. I'm back home for Christmas holidays, and I decided to give you guys something special. All right. Now, first of all, I'm leaving after New Year's, going back to university, and I'm not gonna be uploading anything, I don't think at least, until I come back home for Easter holidays. Sorry about that one. But I wanted to show you guys something special. That's why we have the Razer Ironclad. Now, this video is gonna be twofold. I'm gonna be doing the unboxing and first look whilst I'm here at home. Then when I go back to university, I'm going to be testing it against my Razer Scarab, because I don't have that with me. But I want to see if this one actually is worth the money over the Scarab, because I'm pretty happy with that one, to be honest. I'm also going to be comparing it to some of the other mouse pads I've used or I'm using. I'm comparing this one, the SteelSeries 9 HD. I've also used in the past the SteelSeries SS. I'm curious to see how it compares with that one. And I've also had some experience with the Razer Destructor and a Rocat one, but I can't remember the name. Doesn't matter anyway. Now, get you in for a closer look. Get a look outside the box, and then we're gonna go inside. Now, closer look at the packaging. I'm sure you've seen this already, but to be honest, it's absolutely beautiful, and I have to show it to you. Now, picture the product over here. They pair it, funny enough, with the Mamba, which is their most expensive mouse. I guess that makes sense, you know, most expensive mouse pad they make with the most expensive mouse they make. Now, they have some quotes here: ultra smooth sandblasted surface, robust unibody construction, extra large mousing area. If you turn it around, again, picture the product, picture the carrying case, some quotes from the pros who helped develop this mousepad, and also the classification. Razer now classifies all their products by essential, expert, and elite. This one being the most expensive and the best one they make. They put it in the elite one. And also you have the dimensions: 350mm by 250mm. Now, when you pick this up, this is the most heavy mousepad packaging I've ever encountered. I mean, it's about 2 kilograms, at least 2 kilograms heavy. Now, so you've seen the box. Now let's see what's inside. Very nice, very simple outer shell. We have here a welcome to the cult of Razer, and you just pull on this one. It's black on black. It's pretty hard to see, I know, but what can you do? Right, so this is just the outer shell protective packaging, which is still hard cardboard. Now, inside you have a mesh bag. Oh my god, it's really heavy. Inside which we have, oh my god, we have what appears to be the greatest looking mousepad case I've ever seen. Now, this thing is hard plastic. I mean, you could drop this off a building and nothing would happen to the mousepad. Now, I like the case they give you with the Scarab. I actually use that to carry papers around and stuff like that. This one, I mean, I can't really see myself carrying this in one hand, going about my business. But in a backpack, or if you're putting this one in a plane, you know, people in the airport just throw your baggage around. It's gonna be nice and protected. Now let's get inside. Oh my god, now this thing is really hard to open. If I'm honest, I don't know how it's supposed to be opened, but once it's closed, it's like it's locked. Jesus Christ. It's so hard to open. I'm guessing they just want you to pry it open. It doesn't seem like Razer. Jesus Christ, this is fucking hard to open. I mean, it comes out eventually, but oh, geez, oh, I'm hurting myself now. I'm hurting myself. Now this thing is fucking hard to open. It's part of my fridge, but I look at this. I chop my fingers off trying to get it open. I mean, I don't know how they actually intend you to open it, but it seems like brute force is the best thing. Now we have some foam over the edges and inside here. It doesn't come out. So nothing in this world could damage this mouse pad once it's inside the case. Take the mouse pad out just for a second. Put the case to one side. Now I'm guessing this is the usual Razer stuff. Certificate of authenticity, 2 stickers, product catalog. They don't give you any instructions and stuff, and that makes sense because who needs instructions for a mouse pad? I mean, you just put your mouse on it. How hard can that be, right? Now, first thing you notice, it's cold. Since it's aluminium, it's actually cold to the touch. Normal mouse pads, like this one, for example, just take a mouse off it. They don't feel cold. They're room temperature. This ones feel cold. Oh, this is really nice. Now, you have the Razer logo up here. Have the rubber base. Oh my god, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I'm gonna do my best to show you this. Just hang on, alright? This is the best I can do with my camera. You see the patterns. This one's the SteelSeries 9 HD. This one's the Ironclad. They have the same pattern. Razer used to have like a checkered thing. I'm gonna show you when I compare to the Scarab, and that's all right. But I discovered that this spot design that SteelSeries uses, they're just like, you know, tiny rubber spots. This one grips better to the surface, and Razer have the same design on the Ironclad. This is brilliant. Thumbs up. All right, now. First thing I'm gonna do is just make a sweeping test. Now I'm gonna push the mouse from this corner to this corner, just one motion, to see how much force is required. Now I know this test isn't scientific in any way, shape or form, but at least I'm gonna try to push it with the same force each time. Now let's try that again. Oh, too much. Alright, now let's see how it compares to this one. Okay, let's do it again. I pushed it a bit of more force the last time, so I'm gonna try to do the same thing. It's about the same. Now, can you hear that? I've noticed this thing with most of the Razer's hard mouse pads. They make noise when you move the mouse around them. I've noticed the same thing whilst using my Imperator, which I don't have on hand right now, but I will later on. Now, personally that doesn't bother me at all, but if you're the kind of person that's bothered by this, you know, just keep this in mind. It makes a bit of noise when you move it around. This one's actually not the quiet either. I've seen hard mouse pads that are quieter than this one also. Now, as you know, the surface is aluminium. They say that that's going to be very wear proof. I'm hoping I'm hoping it's going to be that way, because the only problem I had with my previous Destructor was the fact that after about 6 months, you know, in the areas where you put your hand and where the mouse feet stood most of the time, it just wore out terribly and you couldn't use it in that area. Now, another thing that I like about this one, and the Scarab also, is that they've employed a more classical design. The Destructor used to have a funny shape that you could only put it as it was meant to be. If you spun it around, it looked funny. Now, if you're the type of person that puts your hand on a whole mouse pad and use it like this, it's gonna be great. You know? If you're just using it like this, it's gonna be great again. I love it. It's not huge, but it's the right size. I discovered the same thing with the Scarab. They are the right size. It's no more, no less. Now, aluminium. It's the aluminium and the rubber base. There's actually only 2 layers to it. The scarab I have is 3 layers, I believe. I'm gonna show you that when I go back to uni and I have the scarab. Now, it's gonna be about 10 days before I go back, so I'm gonna have time to use this mouse pad, and by the time I compare it to the scarab, I'm gonna have a more in-depth experience with it. I'm gonna be able to provide you guys with a more, I don't know, more objective look. Now, it's gonna be only a fraction of a second for you guys. It's gonna be like 10 days for me before I finish this video. So, Happy New Year. Alright guys, so the 10 days have passed. I'm now back in England, back at university, and as I promised, I'm gonna continue this video. Well, on the left side we have the Ironclad, and on the right side we have the Scarab. Now, one thing that I actually didn't know, which I suppose you could check out on the site, these two are almost identical in size. Now I'm gonna look first of all at the noise. Remember when I tried at home using the Orochi, it was quite noisy. Well, I think that's down to the feet that the Orochi uses. And I'm gonna just try it. This is my Imperator. If I move this around on the Scarab, if I move the Orochi, you can see the Orochi is much noisier. Again, if I move it on the Ironclad, there is a bit of noise, but if I move the Orochi on the Ironclad, it's much noisier. I think it's down to the feet. I've never changed the feet on the Orochi. Now, this is the, let's say, hard part of the video. How do I compare these two mouse pads? Well, it's very hard to compare them online because you have to feel them in order to see a difference. The best thing I can say is that when you're using your mouse on the Scarab, and this is also true for the Destructor and the SteelSeries SS and the SteelSeries 9 HD, which I've all used, when you move the mouse around, especially when you're fingertipping, you try to do gentle movements, you know, like this, pinpoint movements, you can almost feel the texture of the mouse pad, because I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but there's actually a grain-like surface. It's Fractal Surface 2.0, if I remember correctly. I mean, if you touch it, you can almost feel it. The thing is that the mouse glides very well on this surface. It glides better on this one than it does on the Ironclad, as I'm going to show you in a bit. Alright, so the best way of explaining the difference between the two surfaces, in my experience, is that the Scarab, as all the other mousepads I've used, the Destructor, the SteelSeries 9 HD and the SteelSeries SS, actually allow you to sense the imperfections of the surface, the minuscule imperfections, whilst you're trying to do sensitive movements, you know, like fingertip movements like this, very small ones, or even if you're doing larger ones. It's hard to explain in words because it's not like the surface is fighting your movement, it's not at all, but you can feel the imperfections of the surface. Now, this is fine at the start, but once the mousepad starts to wear, then those imperfections become worse and worse. Right, so as soon as you switch from the Scarab to the Ironclad, the surface feedback is completely different. It's a completely different experience. The thing is this: on the Scarab, you could feel the actual, you know, the grain of the surface, the imperfection of the surface. On this one, there is nothing. It is incredibly smooth. Now, don't think that because it's smooth, it automatically glides well. No. Smoothness and the slipperiness of the surface are two very different things, in my opinion. I mean, this one has no surface imperfections. You can touch them all you want, you can move the mouse, you know, do small movements like this or do big ones like this, doesn't matter. There are no surface imperfections on the Ironclad. But the tactile, the feedback you get from it is very different. I used to use the Imperator at 3200 dpi on the Scarab and on the older mousepads. but now that I'm using the Ironclad, I've actually amped it up to about 4000 dpi. Well, I did that because the Ironclad actually doesn't glide as smoothly or as well as the Scarab. But what it does is something very important to me. I'm a fingertip user, right? So this is all I do. I don't do swipes like this or stuff like that. So the level of control I have on my mouse is very important in all these movements. And that's what the Ironclad is best for, in my opinion, is offering you great control when you're using a high DPI mouse and when you're fingertipping it or claw gripping it. It's not very, I mean, it's not ideal for swipes. At least in my opinion, it's not ideal for swipes because it doesn't glide as well as other mouse pads. But once you use it like this, I think it's very good. You know, at the beginning of the video I said that on the packaging they paired the Ironclad with the Razer Mamba, and I thought that they did just because the Mamba is their most expensive mouse and the Ironclad is their most expensive mousepad. Now I'm beginning to have the second thoughts. I think that Razer made this mousepad from the beginning to work with high DPI mice. Now I'm gonna try to do a swipe on both of them. I'm not gonna use the Imperator because it has a cable and I don't want a cable tugging it and pulling on it. So I'm gonna get the Orochi. I'm gonna swipe it from this corner to that corner. I'm gonna do the same on the Scarab to show you that this one actually isn't as slippery as this one, right? So I'm gonna try the same force in both cases. Right. You can see the mouse is falling off the mouse pad with each throw. Now if I do the same thing on this one, on this one, you can see that it goes about, I don't know, 75 to 80% of the mouse pad surface. So even if you do movements like this, you see, this is more relevant. Look at this. And if I do the same thing on this one, it's much harder to glide. But again, this lack of slipperiness offers the Ironclad much better control than the Scarab or its predecessors. Now I'm hoping you can see this. Remember at the beginning of the video I said that the Ironclad, which is this one, had the same grip as same backside as the SteelSeries 9 HD, and it uses these small rubber bubbles, whereas the Scarab and the Destructor both use this checkered pattern. Now in my experience this one is much better. It grips much easier and much stronger than this pattern. Now I really am stretching the limits of my camera here. Sorry about the quality, but this is what I want to show you. The one on the right is the Scarab. You can see that it has 3 layers. This one, the rubber base, a hard middle layer, and over there you can see the surface. You see it's the middle layer is black, surface is silver. It's almost like, I think that the surface is glued down to that middle layer, and the middle layer is there just for strength because the rubber one is soft, doesn't have any rigidity to it, and I don't think the top one has any. So I'm guessing that's why it's there. But if you look, oh come on, please focus. If you look at the Ironclad, you have the rubber base and then you just have the aluminum plate, because this one doesn't need a middle layer for rigidity because the aluminum gives it its rigidity. Right, now let's talk about durability for a bit. When I used my Destructor I was very happy with it, but after about 3 months, especially in the areas, you know, let me show you, right here, where you're using it most often, for example, or if you turn it around, in the areas where you're using most often, after about 3 months, it started to wear out. And that was annoying. Now, I've been using this Scarab for about, I don't know, 4 to 5 months, and there are no signs of wear on it. So, right from the get-go, this one's more resilient than the Destructor. Also, the SteelSeries 9 HD, after about 3 or 4 months, has started to show signs of wear. Not as bad as a Destructor, but I can tell, again, especially with those fine fingertip movements, I can tell that the surface has worn out. Now, if, and I say again, if the Destructor, the Ironclad proves to be futurely wear-proof, then I would say that it is worth its money. As far as I can tell, they've applied no lacquer or anything like that to aluminum. It's just bare aluminum, sandblasted aluminum. If that's the case, I think that it's going to be almost impossible to wear it out, no matter what type of mouse you're using, because mice feet aren't hard at all. They're quite soft, and that's why they wear out in time. That's another thing I want to talk about. It remains to be seen what impact the aluminum surface is going to have on the feet of the mice, because both the Destructor, the SteelSeries 9 HD, the SteelSeries SS, and the Scarab have a very high level of mice feet wear. I actually got some of these. These are feet for my Ironclad, and I've already changed them since I got the mouse once. I got another set in there because once the feet start wear out, it doesn't really matter what mousepad you're using. The responsiveness isn't going to be the same, right? So bear in mind, almost all hard mousepads will wear out your feet, and I think this one's going to do the same. Now it remains to be seen if whilst using it I have different experience. I'm going to let you know. Well, is the Ironclad the best mousepad out there? That was the question I wanted to answer at the beginning of the video. First of all, if you're the type of person that uses low DPI mouse or low DPI settings and this type of swipe movements, then I would have to say that no, it's not the best one out there, simply because it's not as slippery as other mousepads. But if you're using a high DPI mouse and you're fingertipping or you're clawing the mouse, and you want a different level of control, a different tactile experience, one that you cannot get with any other surface, well, then I would have to say yes. Now, if it proves to be reliable, if it proves to be virtually bulletproof, then I would have to say that yes, it's worth its money. Now, another thing I discovered is, I don't think the camera is going to be able to catch this. The surface of my Scarab has some stains on it, ones that I haven't been able to remove, even by washing it. Now, this being aluminum, I think it's going to be almost impossible to get anything to stain it. Now, as a conclusion, if you're using high DPI mouse and fingertip or claw grip, then this is the best mousepad out there, period. The level of control I've gotten with this one is much better than with the Scarab or any of the previous ones. Especially, I've noticed this, especially in shooters like Battlefield 3. I can aim much better, especially when you're talking about sniping at long distance. This one offers me a level of control that's very important to me. Now, drawbacks. It has drawbacks. The biggest drawback is the price. Personally, I think that it's worth the money, especially after using it for about 10 days. The only thing I have to say that could affect you in the future is how bad it's gonna be on your mouse feet. If the wear is gonna be absolutely horrible, I'm gonna get back to you with a later video saying that. But if it's gonna be no difference from the other ones, then I would say that this is a very good investment. Because if it's aluminum, and I don't think it's gonna wear out in time like the others do. So, but that being said, if you buy this one and you use it for 3-4 years, who knows, then I would say it's a fair investment. Well, that was about it. I don't think I'm gonna have any other videos coming up pretty soon, because I'm back in England and I don't have all the stuff I need. I'm actually holding my camera by hand right now. Sorry for all the jittery movements. I don't have my tripod with me. So I hope you all have a nice new year. Bye!